Hi everyone, welcome into KORITE Live from JCK in Las Vegas. This is super exciting. As always, my name is Jana Lauren and we have an incredible experience for you guys today. Help me welcome in the one, the only, John Issa from the KORITE team. John, we love it when we get to pick your brain. We love it. Tell us a little bit more about your title and your history with KORITE, because you've been with the team for a day or two.
Yeah, what little bit. Hello, everyone. My name's John Issa. I'm the VP of Business Development at KORITE. I've been with the company for 23 years now. And before that, I was the head of Canada Fossils, which was a division of KORITE. So I have been working with the Ammolite gemstone and, of course, the Ammonite fossils for my life.
For your life. Now, this is actually your specialty. Really how you partnered up with KORITE wasn't necessarily about the jewelry, but about your love and passion for the actual gemstone.
Yeah. I studied zoology, and I've been collecting fossils since I was about 6 years old. I've been tromping the riverbanks looking for ammonites, dinosaur bones, dinosaur teeth. My son and I actually have a really good dinosaur tooth collection, and we've been collecting together since he was a baby. So,
guys, little John out in the backyard with his pickaxe, just going to town looking for those ammonites.
And my daughter, Gabrielle, she is one of the best fossil finders you'll ever find.
Oh my
She's amazing.
She follows in your footsteps.
Yeah. We go out tromping the hills and the banks and the Badlands.
I love it.
The coulees all through. We've been digging dinosaurs since they were babies.
That is amazing. So their passion, obviously, your passion, obviously, was passed on to them. But tell us a little bit about, so what I love about bringing you on and getting the opportunity to share this with you guys. Not only are we behind the scenes at the biggest gemstone and jewelry show in the world, but John actually has the behind the scenes of everything that goes on at KORITE, because he works directly with the Canadian government on these fossils. He has access to the whole inventory. We don't even have, what would you say, a fraction of the inventory online.
No. Most of it.
There's so many. There's literally, if you were looking for your perfect specimen, we probably have it available.
Yeah, you bet.
It's just cataloged with you.
Yeah, and our inventory is always changing. Everything is, coming in, going out, everything like that. So, you just got to send me an email and tell me what you're looking for, and I'll help you out. But a lot of times you have to be patient because...
small team.
Yeah, small team, but we're very hand to mouth because these items are actually extremely rare.
Yes.
So a lot of my customers, they can wait a year, maybe a year and a half, sometimes even longer. But at the end of the day, they get exactly what they were looking for.
Which is amazing and so hands-on, and that personal experience means everything to so many of our collectors out there. But let's dig a little bit deeper, because I know a lot of you guys, you're like, all right, well, you show the jewelry, you show the new collections, but tell us the history. So let's go way back. Take us back to how did this even happen?
So back in the time of the dinosaurs, North America was divided into two land masses. And there was what was called the Pierre Seaway running through the middle of North America. And through that area, we had mosasaurs, elasmosaurs, we had big sharks, we had ammonites, trilobites, all kinds of marine life. And slowly, that sea receded. And now you have the two remnants of that sea. You have the Hudson's Bay in North America, or in the northern part of Canada, and you have the Gulf of Mexico to the south. And they're slowly receding down. And that's why the middle of North America is so flat.
Okay.
Because it was an ancient seabed. And where we're mining in southern Alberta, we're finding ammonite fossils. And these fossils, they believe the ammonites came to southern Alberta, they mated, and then they died. So just like a salmon will go upstream and go back to the same place it was born, these ammonites would congregate in the area that is now southern Alberta. They would mate and die.
So, because ammonites have been found all over the world, but they look nothing like the ones that KORITE has and Ammolite itself. What caused the color? How did we get there?
Before that.
Oh, before that.
Let's go back. You said something very important.
Let's do it. Let's go back.
So ammonite fossils are found in every single continent of the world, including Antarctica. Now, ammonites as a type of animal existed for more than 225 million years. And if you look at us...
How long what was their lifespan?
Probably about you know, maybe 50, 40 years. Now, some of the biggest ammonites could be more than 2 meters tall. So that's more than 6 feet.
Can I get that in a pendant?
No, you can't. And some of these ammonites are so immense, you can't even get the rocks out of the ground. All they can do is take an imprint of these fossils in the ground because they're just too heavy.
Yeah.
You can't get them out. You'd have to get a helicopter in to lift it out because these things are heavier than a car or even a big truck.
Could you imagine finding that in your backyard?
Yeah.
So insane.
But some ammonites were very small. Okay. The ammonites we find in southern Alberta, they're about medium size. The biggest ammonite we would find would probably be about 35, 40 inches.
Yeah.
So that's quite big, almost to a meter. So, but the ones we're looking at, for the most part, are going to be about 2 feet, 24 inches.
Yeah.
Nice, something you can hold in your hands, everything like that.
Put on display in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for the feng shui. So the colors, how did we get there? How did we
Southern
get to those?
Alberta, it's a bit of a geological fluke. So you have the right kind of minerals in the soil.
Okay.
You have just the right amount of heat, the right amount of pressure, the right kind of ammonite buried in the ground. You have no water, no oxygen, because oxygen is very corrosive, and these ammonites were compressed down. Now, at one point, they believed there was more than 10 kilometers of sediment on top of these guys.
I was going to say, you told me the coolest thing ever once, that it kind of like fell.
Yeah.
And that because it fell, the way it pressurized.
Yeah.
Changed up, and you have to understand, this didn't happen yesterday.
No, this happened in the time of dinosaurs. This is about 71 million years ago.
So recreating something like this is not even, it's not even possible.
No, nobody can create like Mother Nature. Mother Nature, she's a great cook. But being a cook, she has to start with good ingredients.
Yep.
She has to cook it the right way, the right amount of time, 71 million years to create this gemstone. So if we think of mother of pearl.
Okay.
So we're talking.
You're speaking my language.
Now we're talking the iridescence and mother of pearl. They call Ammolite great-great-grandmother of pearl.
Oh.
So the Ammolite is that nacre, that iridescence that we find in pearls, abalone, things like that, that's been compressed and it's been stabilized naturally by Mother Nature and turned into a gemstone.
That's a phenomenal way to put it. And you don't hear it put like that very often. Now the colors, how? Because you have to understand, all gemstones are beautiful in their own right, but very few gemstones happen naturally in Mother Nature, and that's perfectly normal. But Ammolite needs no enhancement. All those fiery oranges and reds, those vivid yellows and greens, those beautiful blues, purples, and sometimes other colors form naturally.
Yeah, so totally.
Why
when we find them, people can't believe when I show them a rough piece of Ammolite.
Yes.
And I show it to them and I say, this is untouched. And they say, you know, like, how could it have that kind of color? But it's all natural, all there.
Unbelievable. And Ammolite is one of the most beautiful gems because every time you move in the light, it almost dances with you.
Yeah.
And so I remember at one point you telling me all the colors kind of formed. It's more one of a time, isn't it? Like one at a time that you get there.
Yeah, it's like the rainbow. So if you think of all the different colors in the rainbow, you have blues on one side and you have reds on the other.
Yep.
Those colors are actually stacked in layers. So if I'm polishing and I have blue on the outside, I keep polishing, that blue is going to turn to green. The green is going to turn to yellow. The yellow is going to turn to orange. The orange is going to turn to red. Now red is the bottom color. And if I keep going through that red, it's going to turn black because I've gone through all the Ammolite into the rock underneath.
Now we're not done talking about this yet, but you just made the most valid point. And I think one of the most underrated points when we actually talk to the jewelry, and this is about the history of Ammolite. We're going to get back to it. Give us one jewelry moment, please, because you just said something so important. I know we've talked about this before, but I don't think everyone appreciates the cutters. And I often go back to this with a lot of great gemstones. The cutters can make or break your piece of jewelry. And when it comes to this gemstone in particular, if they don't know what they're doing, they're not cutting a piece of KORITE Ammolite, because
you can burn right through the colors so easily. And we're talking the color layer can be less than 1 millimeter thick. So
no pressure on them.
It can be really thin, but it can be up to about 1 centimeter in some places. Now you have all the different layers and you're polishing those layers. So we talk about Ammolite having the number of colors. Now the best Ammolite stones are gonna have a full range of colors. Now, when we talked about me having your rainbow, the cutters will cut through the layers at an angle. And then that's how come you have blues on one side and reds on the other, so it's going to look like a total rainbow. So it's all in how you cut the stone.
That's unbelievable. And that is a tremendous amount of pressure. You have to understand, at KORITE, we do not use brand new cutters into the industry. These are master cutters.
Yeah.
They are extraordinary at what they do. We even have specialized cutters for certain pieces that feature their own pieces on KORITE.com. On a quick side note, on our website, so if you're at KORITE Ammolite website, you can actually use the promo code JCK20 until Tuesday this week to get 20% off your purchase. And don't tell the others and don't tell Ian, but it includes everything. So
even the fossil.
It does include everything. Just because this week is so special, we want to share it with you. But okay, let's get back to that. So we go from, millions of years ago, having the formation, having the colors being so spectacular and special. Well, who found it? Who was digging up your backyard?
Well, first, the indigenous Canadians.
Yep.
They were the first ones who really found Ammolite. They used to carry pieces in their medicine bags.
Yes.
And that would bring them luck and fortune. And they would thank the creator for it. And it would help with them hunting buffalo and doing all sorts of things.
Many of them called it the buffalo stone, right?
Yep. And then in about the 1960s, it was the Nanton Rock Club. They were one of the first people to discover how cutting Ammolite and using it as a lapidary piece, wearing it as jewelry, everything like that. And then along came an entrepreneur, Rene van der Velde.
Yep.
He founded KORITE, and he's actually my mentor. He hired me and taught me not only about the fossils, but taught me how to be a gentleman, how to work in business, everything like that. He was a Renaissance man.
That's
he was,
amazing.
Amazing, yeah. So Rene van der Velde came along and he founded KORITE and Canada Fossils, which is where I came from, which was a division of KORITE. And we dug for the Ammonite fossils and the Ammolite gem, and he was responsible in 1981 getting Ammolite recognized as an official gemstone.
So KORITE really had the hands-on of bringing that.
Oh yeah.
The beginning of making Ammolite being, because you have to understand, when you rediscover something, and this is something I think there's a misconception on at times. Well, if it's millions of years old, why is it a new gemstone?
Yeah, it's
when
so
no one
funny.
knows it's there, when it's been lost again, and no one even realizes, and then once it's rediscovered, it's not an overnight process.
No, not at all. But you still have to learn how to cut the gem, how to process it, how to manufacture it. And once it's manufactured into a gemstone, and once you learn how to cut it, how to stabilize it, how to maximize the colors that are naturally there, then it becomes a gem, and then it's something that's truly worthwhile.
And when we're talking about a gem and the rarity and the fact that it is not it is classified as a precious gem, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
How rare are we talking?
Now, we were talking about ammonites being found all over the world on every continent. Now, Ammolite is only found in one small area of southern Alberta, 10 square kilometer area.
Wow.
So, if you're thinking about diamonds, you're finding diamonds in northern Canada, you're finding them in Africa, you're finding them in South America, all over the world. Now, gem quality Ammolite is only found in one area in southern Alberta. So there's only one origin for this gemstone.
It really is something so special, something so rare. And the thing is, a lot of people are like, well, why don't I see it more? When something truly is that rare, you're never going to... They can only accommodate so many people with what's mined every single year. And over the years, you guys have been literally recognized and credited with mining the majority of Ammolite.
Yeah,
literally since the beginning.
We've been mining. Now, KORITE was founded in 1979.
Yep.
We opened our first mine in 1980. And 1981, we really discovered how to find Ammolite. In 1983, we started using heavy equipment. And that was when we exposed the geological layers. We pushed all the overburden out of the way just to get to the gem layers. And we used heavy machinery. But of course, you're using the heavy machinery to find the Ammolite, but once it's found, it's all mined by hand. You're on hands and knees. So I like to say we have to move a football field of earth to get a shoebox of Ammolite.
And it's very true.
Yeah.
And the other thing I love about you guys, and I think this is something that's not as well known as well, is the fact that you all work hand in hand with the Canadian government.
Yes.
To not only mine this gemstone, mine it ethically, do it the right way, but then also to restore the land even better than what you found it.
Yeah, you bet. Canada has some of the strictest laws governing mining and fossils. So even though we're mining in Canada and we're spending the money, we have the heavy machinery, we have teams finding fossils. When we find these fossils, they actually belong to the province of Alberta, even though we're spending the money, time, and energy.
Yep.
So every fossil we find is numbered, registered with the government of Canada. They all get an individual number, and the government will look at each and every fossil that we find. Anything that they deem scientifically important or anything that is not represented in the provincial collection is kept by the government or by the crown, as we like to say. And then the rest of the fossils that they don't want are granted as a gift to KORITE.
For doing all the work to working alongside with them. And it's something that's really important because this is a piece of history, and not every gemstone has the significance of being a piece of history. Now, you have an example of one that would say maybe they would have more interest in, because you have a really cool one that you can show us and share with us right now.
So this is an ammonite. This is a Placentisserus costatum from Alberta. You can see the beautiful colors.
Let me hold it.
Yeah, you hold it. But if you look really closely now, you're seeing all these pot marks here. You're seeing these right over here, everywhere. Those little marks there, those are actually bite marks from a marine reptile, which is a mosasaur that actually preyed on these guys.
So what is that? So it literally is a marine, almost like dinosaur.
Yeah, you bet. It's a massive, I guess you could call it like a monitor lizard. Now, these guys got up to, 12 meters or about 50 feet in length. They had long snouts, big teeth, and they had mouth like a crocodile. And they would come and they would feed on these guys and chomp on them. So if you look at these bites really closely, you can see compression fractures around the bite, which tells you that there was a lot of force. Each one of these teeth is like an individual hammer coming down on these fossils.
Isn't that incredible?
Chomping them, yeah. So KORITE, over the years, has found, I believe, 13 marine reptiles in our mine.
Okay, so what do you do with those? Whose closet are those in?
Now, those all go to the government. The government will come in and excavate those. So we found mosasaurs, elasmosaurs, and plesiosaurs.
You found one recently, too.
Yeah, this year we found one. And we usually find them on the Friday before a long weekend.
That's hilarious. Isn't that how it always happens?
Yeah.
Isn't that how it always happens?
I'll get a call from the government before the long weekend, and they'll say, Johnny, what did you find today?
Just what everyone wants.
Yeah.
Just what everyone wants. Oh, that is so cool. That's something so unique. But now these, you do have some that are available.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So if I was looking for the perfect, my personal piece that I wanted, and I wanted that feature on it, we do have those.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we have big ones, small ones, green ones, blue ones. We got it all. Yeah.
Amazing.
So there's 3 main species that we find. There's the Placentisserus costatum that we looked at. We also find the Placentisserus mukai and the Placentisserus intercalari. Each one is a little bit different, and maybe next time I'll show you the differences between them.
Oh, yes, if you could bring us a good visual. We like a good visual.
Because I only have 2 here. So the main one is the bite mark one, but we also have something extremely rare here. And I don't know if we're going to be able to capture this, but this ammonite actually has pink on it. Now, we talk about blues and purples being the rarest color, but I think the pinks are the absolute rarest. Now, we only see this a handful of times, and I've been working with these fossils for more than 20 years, and I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen pinks.
So you can almost see it's up in this little corner here, so up in this area, but what we're going to do is I have a great visual for you. John actually took this. Now you have to understand, we are behind the scenes, and at some point I'll try and post like a behind the scenes at JCK. The behind the scenes part is very real. So John busted out his iPhone so that we could share that with you, and you could see how incredible the colors are.
So you're looking here, you're seeing pinks and a little bit of amazing to see.
Go back and say that because I accidentally removed us, and then
oh, okay.
And then our audio probably. So you're seeing the pinks and purples is what he was pointing out.
Yeah, it's just so unusual to find the pinks and purples. So this is one that, you know, it's probably been about 4 years since I've seen the pinks and purples. They're that rare.
Now, is this available if I wanted to contact you?
Yes, it certainly is.
So I could actually reach out to KORITE via customer service. They'd put me in touch with you, and this one is actually available.
Yeah.
So, and these are not the only ones. You can visit the website, and there is a wide array for you to be able to look at and choose from. Right now, we are running our promo code for JCK. So JCK20 gets you 20% off any purchase. That includes the jewelry. But we really wanted to come and share with you a little bit more about the history and the things we don't always get to focus on. Now, you've got some hand specimens and stuff for us as well. Some free-form pieces, which are always really cool to see. I have one of these at home, and I love it because I'm super into crystals and gemstones everywhere. And if you go downstairs in my office, there's just like a wall, and mine's right on that wall.
You should see my house.
I can only fathom. We should do behind the scenes from John's house. I'm just saying.
my floor in my kitchen is all fossils.
Stop it.
So, yeah, we excavated some rock from Wyoming that has fossil fish in it. It's amazing.
I mean, who hasn't?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So tell us about these guys.
So these are the hand specimens.
Okay.
So these are pieces of the Ammonite fossils or the counter fossils.
Okay.
Now, these are pieces that we would cut gemstones from. So 90% of what we find are broken pieces or fragments.
Okay.
And those are the pieces we cut the gemstones from. Now, we would never take a whole Ammonite fossil and cut it up into gemstones because we find enough of the broken pieces or fragments. So whenever we find a whole Ammonite,
those are special.
It's party time.
Yes.
So they're not found that often. But the pieces we find, these are ones that we're going to use to cut gemstones.
Okay.
So some of them we keep as pieces. So these come in a beautiful black box with the membrane here. So you can have it here. And these large boxes even have legs.
Kickstand.
Yeah, if I can get it out. You can see there, it's got legs.
Little kickstand.
So it'll stand like that. But you can also take the box, you can open it up, and you can take the piece out and see it. And you can see this one has all kinds of greens and purples and blues. And just like us, every single piece is going to be different.
Which is kind of the really fun part about it. You know, every single piece is going to be your own. Now, these are available on the website.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of a one that you can get like a surprise one, but then there's ones that you can actually go on and buy that specific one.
You bet. Yeah.
Which is really nice because then you can actually pick out the piece that sings to you the most.
Yeah. So you can buy the small boxes or the large boxes, or if you wanted, you could even go for something larger.
Yeah.
We have some larger pieces here, but you know, if I were you, I would just contact customer service and I would say, look, I'm a blue guy.
Yeah.
Or I'm a green guy. I really like green.
John will find it.
And we will find it for you, for sure. Yeah. So if you reach out, tell them what you like. Someone will get back to you right away. We'll find a piece. We can even take photos, email them to you.
Absolutely.
And get you the piece that is you. That's the main thing.
Amazing. We love being able to pick your brain on everything, and we greatly appreciate you always sharing your knowledge with us because it's such a different look at everything else that we get to talk about. You know, we'd love to talk about the style and the jewelry and how fun it is and how Ammolite goes with everything, but we really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your years of experience with us. It's amazing.
I always like to say that, you know, I get to work on the fun side of the business because I get to deal with the rocks. I get to take people tromping the hills and tromping the riverbanks.
When are we doing that video?
Fossils.
When do we get to do the chomping of the riverbanks and hand me my pick? I'm in.
Anytime. Anytime. I would love
Let's
to take
go.
you. Yeah.
I won't be wearing a dress in that one. I'm gonna have to put on my mining clothes. So, I can't thank you enough for hanging out with us, giving us a behind the scenes. And if you are at JCK, you still have time to come and visit with John and pick his brain even further because we are here.
Come by and you can actually see the purple and pink ammonite. You can hold it in your hands.
Absolutely.
It's amazing because it is quite a substantial piece.
Yeah, it is.
Like when you hold these, you don't realize that this is a rock. These are heavy.
Absolutely.
This is probably about what? About 5 pounds, 6 pounds?
At least.
The other one is even heavier. Yeah.
So make sure you come by and see us if you are at JCK. If you're watching from home and you want to take home a little treasure of your own, go to the website, go to KORITEAmmolite.com and use that promo code JCK20. You have until Tuesday to take advantage of that. Thank you, John.
Nice to see everybody.
Great to see you all.
See a little bit of my world.
Yes.
I love it.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day and stay tuned in as always. Take advantage of those